Greetings. This is Puma Ghostwalker, and we are at the location of my beehives. The hive that is so active right now has a black covering over it it actually is one of my my generator covers, and being black, I put it over the hive early winter to help create more heat inside, so at least in the daytime the bees don't have to utilize so much energy by just keeping warm. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to try to speak as we go. I have bees all over me. They will fly in front of the camera. One is climbing on the camera right now. My little Sony Cyber Shot, what is it, TX5, the one that's waterproof, to be going on the Appalachian Trail with me. I fed the bees a few weeks ago. We had temperatures in the 60s. It was a wonderful break, and I took the opportunity. I actually opened the box up and poured syrup into the hive itself, and once again without a suit, smoker, gloves. And I have found that the bees can feel my vibes, and if I can block out fear, those chemicals, those endorphins that my body produces in those fear experiences, animals pick up on that. And if you can learn to channel this fear and these anxieties, you will find that you're more approachable by the other living creatures here on this earth. So the first thing I will do, the first thing I did before I set up is I took my half gallon of syrup and I walked over to the left corner there of the bees, and I poured out a little trail of syrup just to give them a little something that they're looking for. The bees will land on me, land on my face, they fly into my hat, and I will go and I will be right over there in close proximity to them. And I may get stung. I mean, it happens. The bees are at their most vulnerable time right now after, of course, surviving winter. The brood is down. They will die. They need to get the queen producing, laying eggs, and of course in the whole process of life in the hive is truly beautiful. So without any more delay, I will get in front of the camera now, and we're in front of it, and I will proceed my work. I have found that by moving slowly and not being a threat, there seems to be at times more of a harmonious outcome with me and the bees. And with that said, and the moving slowly and all, it does create its challenges. Flicker only allows 90 seconds of air time. And that's what prompts me to take a distinct role. Now, it'll be curious to see if they now deem this as part of their home. This black, and do they say now that I am disturbing their docile by removing this coating? But as you can see, they fly into me, and all of last year, I'll be going out of the camera now, but I want to get the syrup. All of last year, I spent much of my time with the bees without suit, smoker, or gloves if I can. I think that by giving them the syrup, there's no vegetation yet. It's still February, for crying out loud. Yeah, these are the darker bees of winter. And as the queen starts producing more of the bees, the newer breeds will become lighter and lighter as the season prevails. This actually is the hardier winter bee that is morphed out in the cooler temperatures of fall and as they prepare for winter. Now I'm seeing here what looks like perhaps some springtime bees that are lighter in color. So perhaps the queen has started laying. But I dare not go into the hive box, because every time you go into the hive box, they get very aggressive. When they sting you, they lose their stinger. When they lose their stinger, they die. And right now, like I said, this is a very vulnerable time for them, as they need to get their numbers up. Obviously, we're starting with great numbers this year. The survival of the colony. They did very well this winter. And though I harvest the honey, a good portion of it in the fall, in the late fall, after honey production was over, it was a calculated risk I took. But I felt the boxes, and they seem to have had, I left them a substantial amount of honey to feed off of through the winter months, which, well, I'm a risk taker. You know, it was a calculated risk, and I felt very comfortable with it, and I always felt that I'll be able to go in there and feed them if I have to. So the honey was processed, and it's one less thing I have to do this spring before I take off for my journey. Right now I will slowly go in. They don't really like my face that close to the opening, as my face mostly represents my being to them. You know, eyes, nose, mouth, and breath, and the carbon